Do you dread family conflict around the holiday season? We're approaching that time of year, which means school and work vacations, holiday celebrations, and traveling to see family. My name is Liz Ward, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker here at Center for Anxiety. For the next couple of minutes, I'm going to introduce you to a skill to help reduce emotional intensity in these situations. Today, I'd like to talk about a DBT skill called validation. When disagreeing with a family member's thought or behavior, rather than argue with them, try to validate, which is merely showing that you're listening and that you understand. Think of validation as the opposite of treating that person like they're bad or wrong. This can be challenging at times when behavior is difficult to validate. However, it's possible to find a kernel of truth in what they're feeling or saying or doing, and it's a helpful tool to de-escalate a situation and regulate both yourself and the other person's emotions. A validating statement might be, "This doesn't make sense to me, and it's only because I'm having difficulty figuring it out. Can you help me to better understand?" Validation is not agreeing with the other person. Its purpose is to maintain the relationship and help reduce conflict. I'm going to repeat that one. Validation is not agreeing with the other person. It's to maintain the relationship and reduce conflict. There are 6 ways that you can validate a loved one. You can validate by paying better attention through eye contact, nodding, not multitasking, but focusing on what they're saying. You can also validate by reflecting back what they're saying without judgment. For example, instead of becoming defensive with your spouse, you could say, "So you're mad at me because you think I lied just to get back at you. Did I get that right?" You can also validate by trying to predict what they're feeling, but be open to correction. So if you sense vulnerability at the moment with your child, you could respond, "You seem really tired. Let me look for someone else to help." Validation is mostly conveying an understanding of what the other person's saying. If you're faced with an accusation from a sibling, you can respond with, "I can see why you thought I might be excluding you on purpose." Validation is acknowledging that what you can agree with, finding that kernel of truth. Even though you can't change the outcome, you could say, "I would want to see my friends instead of going to my grandparents as well if I was your age." Lastly, validation is showing equality. So rather than use your authority as a parent, you could say, "Let's figure this out together." Keep in mind, every invalid response makes sense in some way. That's that kernel of truth. Validation is not necessarily agreeing. Validation doesn't mean you like it, and only validate the valid. Thanks for listening. I hope practicing validation will help reduce conflict this holiday season with your loved ones.